Hi folks, welcome back to the next league table logic challenge. So last time you remember I set you one with England, Ukraine, Sweden, Australia here, and down at the bottom you can see the results. So hopefully you managed to have a crack at that, hopefully you got the right results. What we'll do now is we'll go through how we got there, and then I'll give you another challenge puzzle for you to go away and have a crack at. So usual way that we work through them is we write down all the different combinations, sets of results that they could possibly get, England's, Ukraine's, Australia's, and we work our way through and use logic to obviously cancel through them. So having done that, what we do now is we look for the results where there is no reverse equivalent. So England's results here, we can see there's a 3-1 here, but there's no 1-3 anywhere else. So we know that that set of results, and it's all of them, can't have occurred. Okay, we've got the same down here as well. We've got a 2-3, but no one else has 1-3-2. So we know they can't have occurred. And again, a 2-all. There are some other draws, but they're not 2-all. So those sets cannot have occurred at all. Okay, always a good one to look at for the next stage once you've worked through all those is to see if there are any teams where they've got a lower number of sort of possible results. Obviously Sweden, we've got 1-0, 0-1 and 0-2, so it's a good place to start. So we can look at who they played against, and we know that, for example, let's analyse the 2-0 here. Now, Australia didn't actually win a match, so they can't have been the ones that beat Sweden 2-0. It can only have been England or Ukraine. When we look at Ukraine's results, there's no 2-0 there, so we know that it has to be England that have beaten them 2-0. So we can therefore put down our first result of England 2, Sweden 0. Now then, actually, in their sets of results that England have got, of course, there's a 2-0 in both of them. So we can't actually rule out an entire set yet, but what we can do is obviously take out those 2 nils. Okay, so we can then look, because we know that one has gone, there's 2 more results that Sweden have got. One's a 1-0 win, one's a 1-0 loss. We know, as we covered just there, that Australia didn't win a match. So they must have lost. They must have lost to Sweden. So it must have been 1-0 to Sweden, and then we know it must have been 0-1 for Australia as one of their results. We know there isn't a 0-1 there, so this is great. This means we can get rid of that set of results, and we know 0-1 matches with 1-0 for Sweden's results. And again, we can write that in there. So Sweden 1, Australia 0. This, of course, leaves 0-1, and the only team they haven't played yet, Sweden, is Ukraine. So let's cross out the 1-0 there, and we can write our result in of Sweden 0, Ukraine 1. And then obviously we know it's this set of results because of the 1-0. There's no 1-0 in that one. So we can also cross out those. So we're making good progress there. Now, let's have a look now, for example, at the draws. And we know that Ukraine have actually drawn 2 results. One against Australia, one against England. Now, Ukraine have obviously drawn a 0-0 and done a 1-all. So looking at England, obviously it could be either one of those. But then they've also drawn against Australia, and we know here that Australia drew 1-all. So we know that Ukraine and Australia drew 1-all. So we can put that one down there and again cross out the results. Okay, so that leaves the obvious one for England, that it was the draw, 0-0. So we know that that crosses with that, they match. So we can enter England and Ukraine at the bottom. So we're really drawing towards the end now, and we can see that England have got, we can scrub these because we know that that wasn't a 1-all for England. We know that England Ukraine was 0-0, so we know that result is remaining. We know that England won 2-1, and obviously we've got a 1-2 here. So then we've got England 2, Australia 1, and that's all of our results. So that's how we came to those results. Okay, let me get you the next puzzle. Okay, we've got the next puzzle here. Now this one's slightly different because before we'd always had each team playing 3 matches. In this one you can see they've played 2 of Crawley. Southampton under-23s have played 2, Charlton have played 3 and Colchester have played 3. So this is actually a real life league table from back in 2016. So I will leave that one with you, and yeah, enjoy trying to solve it.